Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Maths Made Easy with Terry in 10 minutes. So we're talking about cross product of parallel vectors, all right? So the previous video I talked about dot product of parallel vectors. In this video, we're going to talk about cross product of parallel vectors. Before I proceed, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also don't forget to click the notification bell so that when I post new videos, you'll be the first person to know. All right, so we've talked about cross product. This is going to be a very short video because the cross product of any two parallel vectors is zero. So I talked about this in the when I was doing the overview when I talked about the property. So when you have cross product of two parallel vectors, it's always zero. So no matter what the question is, and you find out that the two vectors are parallel, so therefore you should know that the cross product is going to be zero. But the dot product, if it's the dot product, like we talked about in the previous video, it's going to be the product of the magnitude of both vectors, okay? But for the cross product, it's going to be zero, okay? So I'm going to write this down. So the cross product of any two parallel vector is a zero vector. Okay? So what I'm saying is that, for instance, if A and B are parallel, okay, then A times B is going to be equal to what? Zero. Okay, so when you have the cross product of A and B, it's going to be equal to what? Zero. All right, so let's pick some example. So number one, we have vector A is given by, we have 3i minus 2j, and vector B is given by 6i minus 4j, all right? And they said, give that vector A is given by this, and vector B is given by this. Both vectors are parallel to one another. Or to each other. Find the cross products. Okay? Or we can better write it, we can just say, given that both vectors are parallel to each other. So we can say, given that both vectors, okay? So given that both vectors are parallel to each other, find the cross product. So basically, since we know they are parallel, so then for A times B will be equal to 0. That's it. Nothing else, nothing to do. You move on to the next one. So it's usually a trick question. You don't solve, you just move on to the next question. All right, so number two, same thing. We had this question. So they say find the cross product of the two parallel vectors given below. Find the cross product of the two parallel vectors given below. Okay, so they are parallel. So we're told that A is equal to, we're told is 4, 3, and minus 2. And B is equal to 12, 9, and minus 6. Okay? We're told to find the cross product. So that means A and B must be equal to what? 0. Nothing else. And that is it. Provided the parallel vectors, their cross product must be equal to what? 0. And that is that. That is that for cross product of parallel vectors. What I would do is I'm going to solve some extra practice questions on vectors in the next video. I'm going to solve more questions and just try to throw in some other different kind of varieties of questions. So I want you to practice. So that I'm going to do in the next video. So I'll advise that you make sure you subscribe and click notification bell. So when I post the extra practice questions on vectors, you'll be the first person to know. All right. So I'll see you soon. I'll see you in the next video. And make sure if you have any question, please don't hesitate to send me an email or contact me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right. So see you soon.